You see that awesome dog? He's named Apollo, and he's gonna watch my 6 as I make this video. Now this is a new kind of video that I've never done before. I think they call them vlogs. Now I never thought I was gonna make a vlog before, because why would any of you wanna watch what's going on in my life? Because it's very boring, not exciting, and would make absolutely horrible videos. But there's some new things that arose in my life, some devastating news, some bad news, that after sharing with my family and with my friends and just dealing with it and just mentally thinking about it for over a month, I think it's now time to share it with you guys. So if you don't want to listen to bad news, if you don't want to know what's going on in my life, then simply just stop watching the video and watch one of my other videos. But let's now talk about this issue. So with every story, you need to start at the beginning. And the beginning is I found out I was going to be a father, which is actually awesome news. And I'm very excited about being a father. I've always wanted to be a father for at least like the past 10 years. And I'm having a son nonetheless, so it's even better to, you know, have a son. And, you know, I can't wait. But the really sucky part and the fucked up part and the bad news, the devastating news, is that he also has a 40 to 60% chance of dying in his first 6 months. Like, holy fuck. Now it's up to a 60% chance. He has a 40 to 60% mortality rate, but if you reverse it and you say he has a 40 to 60% survival rate, it sounds a tad bit better. That's devastating to even say out loud to a camera. And I've said it to friends, I've said it to coworkers, I've said it to my family, and I've discussed it with his mother, and I've discussed it with doctors, and I've discussed it with nurses, and it just fucking sucks. There's no other words to really describe the feeling that's going on inside you as a potential new parent, to hear that your son has a higher chance of dying than you flipping a quarter and landing on tails. The exact issues is that he has a congenital heart defect, and more specifically what's called PAIVS, pulmonary atresia with intact ventricular septum. Now, I probably am pronouncing that wrong, because you all guys know that I pronounce shit wrong, but nonetheless, it's a very serious and a very deadly syndrome. 1 in 100,000 babies that are born with this. But if you put all the other things that he has as well, it's more likely about to 150,000 chance to 200,000 chance, which basically means that we won the lottery, but it's not a lottery you want to win. To simply and quickly describe what's going on with his heart, his right side of his heart is pretty much just fucked. The right atrium is supposed to pump blood into the right ventricle, and the right ventricle is then supposed to pump it into the lungs, but that pathway to the lungs is closed. The right ventricle is too small. The tricuspid flap that is in between the right atrium and right ventricle is too small. And then there's these extra connections from the right ventricle to the right, or to the left ventricle, that shouldn't be there. And if there is blood there that is going in between the right and left ventricles, well, our son's going to be born with having heart attacks on a regular basis. How the fuck can you deal with that mentally, to hear that your child, a newborn, like a day old, is going to start having heart attacks? You don't think about heart attacks until like someone's like 40, 50 years old, 60 years old. That's when you start thinking like, oh, well, you might want to worry about a heart attack. Not 1 day old. Sorry, I'm still a little bit angry about this. And I have anger, I have a wealth of emotions that is just impossible for me to articulate to you guys. What's going on in my head, there's just no way I can actually express it all. But that's what this video is about, is me telling you guys what's going on, but also it's going to be a new channel. I'm going to have a new channel that's dedicated solely to doing vlogs. It's not going to affect the video games. It's going to be entirely separate. There's going to be video games, and then there's going to be these kind of vlog videos. The vlogs are going to cover our journey through this, going through the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, going through all these different surgeries, what it means to us, how it affects us, what I think on a daily basis, what I think in the hospital, what I'm scared of, what I'm not scared of, everything in between, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. Now, this isn't because I want likes, this isn't because I want views, this is not because I want subscriptions. That's why I'm putting on a different channel. This is more to document our journey through this, so that eventually I can look back on this and really see what happened. And you know, when I'm 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, and I'm trying to describe to my son what happened, now I'm gonna have real life video footage to really tell him what was going on in my mind. Now, maybe he doesn't want to know what's going on in my mind, because this is gonna be pretty raw, and I'm not gonna hold back too much. I'm gonna edit, but I'm just gonna edit because, well, sometimes I screw up and you know, you don't want to stutter on camera. This is just gonna be a sucky all-around situation. There's no way else to put it. And it's just going to suck. Now, to fix all these issues, he's gonna have to have multiple different surgeries. He's gonna have to have a surgery at 48 hours, an open heart surgery, to open up his heart and put it in a shunt to keep a certain pathway open. He's gonna have another surgery in between the ages of 2 and 6 months old to redirect some blood flow into the left side of the heart because the right side of the heart is just kind of jacked up. Eventually, in between the ages of 3 and 5, he'll have his final surgery, hopefully, and that will then divert all the blood into the left side of the heart and hopefully fix the situation. Now, he should have a pretty normal life. He will have some limitations, but from the outside, he will seem very normal, and he's not going to be able to live just fine for a time. The for the time aspect is because the oldest person that's ever gone through this is only 30 years old. So there's only 30 years of evidence and no one knows what happens after that. So every single year we'll find something else out. Also, as time goes on, there's going to be new medical advances and there's going to be new technology. And hopefully this technology can then not only further his life, but also maybe solve some things as well. They're already developing mechanical lungs and also mechanical hearts. So the technology hopefully will be there in 20 to 30 years, but if not, he might require another surgery or, worst case scenario, a heart transplant. Now, he could actually get a heart transplant right when he is born, in between 0 and 1 years old. 0 and 1 years old? Yeah, whatever. It's definitely riskier. You have to get a heart. That means, unfortunately, some other parent's kid has to die, and I hate thinking about that because that just sounds really fucked up. Now, if no one ever watches these videos and I get to keep them on the internet and save them for my son to watch at a later time, then I'll be happy. And that's really what this new channel is going to be about. This also is just to let you guys know that some serious shit is happening in my life. So if videos slow down or stop for a period, do not worry. I will eventually be back. I'm never going to stop playing video games. And creating YouTube videos is actually a big stress relief for me. So I really do need to create them because it just helps me just deal with stress after work and just throughout the regular daily life. Like I said earlier, this is not about likes or views or subscriptions. This is just for me to get things off my mind and help me articulate it out loud to this imaginary person behind the camera so I can just better understand what my reality is and then formulate plans and how to deal with them later. So I hope that you join me with this journey. If you don't, that's okay. I'll be making video games videos continuously. They might slow down, but that's to be expected in this kind of situation. But I would greatly appreciate it if you join me. As always though, I'm the Flying Ross, and I'll check you guys next time. Come on, boy.